What if I could make jealousy a good thing for you? Would you be interested? Would you be willing to actually do the things in this video to swap jealousy from bad to good and to change your life? I'm the Kinky Polyatheist, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm the Kinky Polyatheist, and I'm here to dispel everything around shame involving relationships and sex. And welcome to the Sexual Revolution. If you have questions for me, drop them in the comments below or send it to my anonymous email, ask@kinkypolyatheist.com. Also, if you like what you see, subscribe and share with your friends. If you don't like what you see, just send this along to your kinky friends and pretend you never talked about it. So I just want to call out that this video is specifically for the monogamous people out there. All you poly people, you're going to enjoy the video too, but the exercise that I'm going to do is specifically targeted at monogamous people because they're going to get the most out of it. So what is jealousy? I think we all know. Do I really need to define it? Actually, I think it's even better if rather than try to define it, why don't we just experience it here for a second? So I'd like to do an exercise with you, and it's going to involve closing your eyes and kind of imagining a little bit. So if you're driving a car, or if you're doing the dishes, or if you're doing something other than being able to stop and close your eyes and imagine something for a second, then you might want to put this video on your watch list and watch it later. All right, but before we start, I just want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen, or just like open like some kind of text document or something like that on your computer. I'll give you like 3 seconds. All right, so now I'm going to get soft. Close your eyes. I want you to imagine the person you love, your partner, your crush. Just close your eyes and just imagine them out. They're out on a date. Who are they with? Picture that person. Who would they go on a date with if it wasn't you? They're out on a date and they're having a great time. They're off doing some fun event or having some fun experience. What fun experience are they having? They're out there having a great time. They're laughing, they're joking. They're doing fun things in fun places. And they're doing all these fun things without you. Imagine them kind of drifting a little closer as the fun continues. The date goes on, they are a little closer, they're laughing a little more, they're giving each other these long, long glances, and there's a longing there between them. They're actually getting a little more playful now. They're kind of flirting, you know, they're kind of giving each other the eyes, that sort of thing. And before long, they're kind of in an embrace. Just a regular flirty moment, but ends in an embrace. They're getting closer and closer to each other, just falling deep into each other's eyes. And their lips get closer, so close, they're so about to kiss. In this amazing moment, surrounded by this amazing fun time where everything just seems to go right for them, and you're not there. All right, open your eyes. So grab your pen, and I want you to answer these questions real quick. Who is the person that is not your lover or partner? Who is the other person? What's their name? Write it down. I'll give you 10 seconds. Next, what is the location they're at? What is the event they're doing? What's the activity involved in this date that they're on? Write that down. I'll give you 10 seconds. Next, I want you to think about what was going on in the scene in your mind leading up to that moment where they're about to kiss. What were they doing? What were they talking about? What kind of interactions were they having? What were they doing that is currently missing from your life or your relationship? This time I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Now, what is it you're afraid they're going to do after the kiss? And I'm not talking about sex. I want you to dig deeper than that. What is it you're afraid they're going to do that is missing from your life or your relationship that they're going to do in this fantasy after they kiss that's not sex? I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Okay, put your pen down for a second, close your eyes again, and pick up the fantasy exactly where you left off. They're inches from each other, they're about to kiss. But your lover pushes them firmly away and says, "Thanks, but no thanks. I appreciate you, but I'm not interested, and I'm happy in my relationship." The other person says, "You know what? Thank you for saying that. I respect you, and I respect your relationship. I respect the space that you're asking for." They decide to just be friends. They separate, and they continue their date. It is a friend date. They are out together as friends, and they both know it, and now it's clear. When your lover gets back home, you open the door, and they're so ecstatic to see you that they throw their arms around you and they kiss you in exactly the way you were hoping for. Okay, open your eyes. So for those of you who actually took that seriously and actually did the experiment with your imagination and actually wrote things down, I just wanted to say thank you. A lot of people are not going to do it, and I understand why. It seems hokey. But the trick here is if you can experience that jealousy a little bit without actually being all wrapped up in the emotion, you can learn a lot. So what did you write down? Take a look. It's kind of amazing. There are things that you are worried about in the back of your mind, in your subconscious or something like that, but you're not really thinking about them every day. But it's like your gut knows, your heart knows. And when you find yourself thinking about or experiencing jealousy, it's like your body's telling you something. Your subconscious is coming out through your emotions. It's letting you know something's missing from your life. What is that something? You should have a name of somebody. And that name should tell you very clearly, I wonder what it is about them or their lifestyle or their appearance or their attitude. What is it about them that is pulling jealousy out of me, right? And odds are it's something about yourself that you might be insecure with or you might need to work on. Rather than worry about that other person, reflect it back on yourself and say, okay, there's something to learn here about myself. So now think about the event, the location, the activity that was involved. Is that something you wish you could do? Is that something that's kind of missing from your life right now? Like maybe you used to go to coffee shops with your significant other and you haven't done it in like 2 years and you miss it, right? Maybe it has nothing to do with that other person and everything to do with, hey, we used to do things together that we're not doing anymore and I miss them. And now you can see where I'm going with all this, right? The things that led up to them almost kissing. The things that came out of you when you thought, wow, after they kiss, this is all the things that are going to happen, right? A lot of those things are probably things that are missing from your life or your relationship. How many of those things are things that you're kind of a little insecure about? And really, it's not your partner that's the problem. It's that you're insecure and you need to do a little searching inside to find out why. Maybe it's something to do with your past. Maybe, for example, when you were a kid, you were triggered by ice cream cones and the date that you imagined involved ice cream, right? It's better to stop and say, where is this coming from? And realize it might be something in your past that's triggering you. Something in your past could be triggering jealousy. A want or need that went wrong in the past could be triggering jealousy now. But if you deal with it, if you think about that thing in the past and realize, wow, when I was a kid, this happened to me. And you know what? I'm not a kid anymore. As an adult, I can make different decisions. Right? Think about that. Now you know, and you're not full of emotion. That's the reason why we did the second part of the imagining. We imagined all the way up into this, like, your worst nightmare kind of a scenario. But then we got all the information, and then we imagined a good closing so we could put our emotions down and take a look at the answers we got when we were all up in the middle of the emotion. And now we know. So the question is, what are you going to do with it? Now that you have this information, what are you going to do with it? You could perhaps have a conversation with yourself. You could perhaps journal. You could perhaps have a conversation with your significant other and just say, hey, I discovered some things about myself. Maybe before you do that, you can suggest they watch this video and see what they uncover in themselves. And you guys can talk about it together. Wouldn't it be amazing if the two of you realized there were some things that were kind of missing and that you have some wants and some needs inside you, and you both realized it, and you both took personal responsibility for it and came together without emotion and just talked about it? What would that look like? What if just having that conversation, the two of you would be able to reconnect, or maybe construct a fun date, or a fun day, or a fun life? So can you see now why jealousy is one of my favorite emotions? It tells me something was missing. A need or a want is not being met for me, and I didn't even know it. And once the jealousy hits, it brings it to the forefront, and now I know. If you can be emotionally intelligent enough to feel jealousy, recognize it, say thank you, and then go through what is it that's missing, and follow it all up with a non-emotional conversation about, this is what's missing in my life, and I would like to do something about it. You can change your life. Jealousy can actually be one of the best things to happen to you if you take a moment to experience it and acknowledge it, and then do something about it. So now that you know, you can go have a conversation with your partner. And here's some advice. Use words like, I feel. Don't use words like always, never, or the word you. Those tend to come across as blame. Like you end up being a victim, blaming them. Even if you don't mean it, they might take it as if they're being blamed. So avoid always, never, and you. Stick with I feel blank. Take responsibility for what you feel, and then move on with it. Make a decision about yourself and your own behavior. Share it, and then make an offer. And when you make your partner an offer, you need to understand an offer is something that people can say no to, or not right now. So make a clear decision about yourself and your own behavior going forward, and make an offer to your partner to be part of it, but not a requirement. Don't ask them to do something specific. Don't tell them what to do. Say, I'm changing me, and I'm inviting you along for the ride. So I'll tell you what that doesn't sound like. It doesn't sound like, hey, you're too busy for me. Hey, you never make time for me anymore. You're always busy. I'm never a priority. You never kiss me. I'm always planning fun things and I have to drag you along. Right? None of that is what I'm saying. Those are all don'ts. Here's a few do's. You know, I'm feeling like I want to go see a show sometime. I think I'm going to plan one. Would you like to join me? You know, I just realized I don't remember the last time I kissed you passionately. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to put some time and effort to, like, kiss you the way we used to kiss when we first met. Actually, you mind if I show you right now? Or maybe, don't even say anything. All those words, maybe just kind of walk up to them and take a moment. Be slow about it, but kiss them like you used to. Don't demand that they do it. Hey, can I talk to you for a second? I just want to check in. I feel like our connection is kind of cooling off. And you know what? I want that fiery connection between us. And I realize that a lot of that is my own responsibility. So I realize I'm going to stop doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to specifically set a time to give you 100% of my attention. Do you have any time in your schedule that would be good for that? So there you go. I highly recommend experiencing jealousy, recognizing it, and learning something from it. And then taking steps to improve your life and get your needs met, whatever that means. But you need to take responsibility. You need to take responsibility for your emotions and your own happiness. You are responsible for getting your needs met, not your partner. Once you realize that, you taking responsibility will get your needs met, and they will see it. Your partner will say, ah, okay, that's awesome. They're taking the initiative. Maybe I'll get in there too. So what did you learn? Drop something in the comments. Clearly you must have learned something from what you wrote, right? What has jealousy taught you? Share it in the comments, because I'm sure you'll be amazed at some of the things that people are experiencing and discovering about themselves. Thanks for watching. I'm the Kinky Polyatheist. Again, you can ask me questions in the comments below, or you can send an email to ask@kinkypolyatheist.com, and I'm happy to answer them. That's where this question actually came from. I had a comment that was asking about jealousy, and I'm really glad I got a chance to answer the question about jealousy. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with all your kinky friends, and I'll see you next time.